Today I'm going to share the easiest and most effective technique for propagating one of the most popular houseplants, the Monstera adansonii. The technique that I'm going to share will give you almost 100% success with all the Monstera cuttings that you have taken. Every single cutting will root within 15 days. So let me show you the whole process with the updates. Let's start. First, take some fresh cuttings out of the Monstera plant. Monstera is an arid plant, which means it has aerial roots and comes out from every single node. These aerial roots help to absorb extra moisture from the surroundings. However, take a sterilized pruner and make a clean cut below a node. I always like to take cuttings with 2 or 3 nodes. Now, to successfully propagate all these cuttings, first take a sterilized container. And it is better to take a transparent container with a lid. You can make some holes at the bottom for drainage, but I generally do not do that. Just avoid overwatering the soil. Then fill it in half with the potting soil. Here I have taken coco peat, which is a sterilized medium, free of harmful microbes. But you also can use sphagnum moss, perlite or soil. Then simply place the cuttings over the potting mix, as I'm doing. And cover the roots or nodes with some coco peat. Then spray water to make the soil moist. Here, because I did not make any holes at the bottom, I sprayed just a bit of water and make sure the soil is not getting soggy but moist enough. Then finally, cover the container in order to increase the humidity inside the container, which is the major factor that encourages all these cuttings to sprout and gave me 100% success. The science behind this method is cuttings require up to 90% humidity in order to activate the growth hormones and ultimately sprout, which is not always possible. That's why we are propagating the cuttings in this way. But this is not the end. There are some important points that we need to keep in check. The cuttings need good air circulation because high humidity inside the container leads to molds as well as rot the cuttings. So you need to remove the covering once every single day until the cuttings are completely sprouted. It will release the excess heat and also will allow air. Try not to overcrowd the cuttings as well as overwater the soil, because these two mistakes also can develop fungus and rot the cuttings. After planting the cuttings, keep the container in a cool and shaded place. Spray water when the soil is about to dry. And this is the update after 16 days. Every single cutting has sprouted. Monstera takes a little longer to sprout, but by using this method, you can speed up their propagation. As soon as I noticed the cuttings forming leaves, I let the container open in order to allow sunlight and air so the leaves can grow properly. I used a transparent container so I get a visual idea of the root growth. After another 10 days, the cuttings got enough roots and leaves, and now it's an ideal time to pot them individually. If you want to get a bushy and healthy monstera from a single cutting, then I will highly recommend the video on the screen to watch, because I have shared a pro trick that can turn a monstera plant bushy.